Hi, fourth graders. Kind of been thinking about how to teach you this lesson. This is lesson 7-13. It's called Displaying Insect Data, but what we're really doing is we are measuring the lengths of insects from their head to their end of their thorax to the nearest eighth of an inch. So the first thing that we need is you're going to need a ruler if you have it at home. And you're also going to need page 264, which is this one, page 265, and page 266 in your math journal. So the first thing I want to do is I want to teach you about eighths of an inch. So if you grab your ruler and you look, and you can see I've already tried to teach this once. I've got all my little marks here. But an inch is obviously from one whole number to the other. An eighth of an inch, well, each of these little lines here, if we count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 16 little lines between the 1 and the 2. And each little line is called a 16th. Now we're not measuring to the nearest 16th, we're measuring to the nearest eighth. So a 16th, 2 16ths, so if you count two of those little lines, 1, 2, that's an eighth. So this is 1/8. Then you would go another 2 spots, 1, 2. That's 2/8. 1, 2. That's 3/8 right there. The half mark is 4/8. 5/8. 6/8. 7/8, and 2 would be 8/8. So I'm going to erase those real quick off there. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by measuring the green lacewing. So if you don't have a ruler, you're going to want to grab that now. And what I like to do, you got to kind of know your ruler. My ruler starts at the very end. So when I take my ruler and I set it at the end, I'm going to count every 2 lines. So 1, 2, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. This goes 5/8. And the way to kind of think about that is if I count all the lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, there are 10 16ths. Well, 10 16ths is equal to how many eighths? If you look, to get from here to here, I'm cutting it in half. So I'd have to do the same here. 5/8. So the green lacewing is 5/8 of an inch. Now I'm going to go to page 266, and I'm going to find the green lacewing. It's right here. And I'm going to put that down as 5/8 of an inch. And I'm done with that guy. We're going to now go over to the Boreal Firefly, which is right here. And again, I'm going to line mine up. Remember, I'm going to actually use my 1 here because I think you can see the lines better. You can see that I have it lined up. And now I'm going to count. Every 2 of the 16ths is an eighth. 1/8, 2/8, I get 3/8. So if you look, the other thing you can do is count the 16ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? 6 16ths. If you make it into eighths, I'm cutting the 16ths in half, so I have to cut the 6th in half. So I get 3/8 of an inch. And I'm going to go back to this page. I'm finding the Boreal Firefly. It is right here, and we found that to be 3/8 of an inch. All right, moving on to the paper wasp. Okay, and the paper wasp, I'm going to have to kind of measure upside down. Again, I'm going to start from my 1 instead of my 0 so you can see it a little bit better. But I'm still just counting how many 16ths there are. So your choices are count every individual line. Let's do that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I get 10/16. And you can use that to figure out your ace, because what you're doing is you're cutting each of these numbers in half. Or what you can do is just skip count lines. So I skip, there's 2 of them, that's 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. So each time, if I'm counting by ace, I count 2/16 at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's go back and find the paper wasp on there. The paper wasp is right here, and that is also 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so let's take a look at the Carolina Mantid. And again, my ruler is going to be upside down so I can fit it on, because I got things holding up my iPad here while I measure. So if you look from here to here, that's 1 inch. Everybody see that? From the end of my ruler to here is 1 inch. Now if you look, you can see that this is bigger than a half. It's almost a 2. Now remember, how we're going to write this is it's going to be 1 and so many eighths, because it's bigger than 1 inch. But let's count how many eighths we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. That makes sense because that's a half of an inch. 4/8 is half of an inch. 5/8, 6/8. So the Carolina Mantid is 1 6/8 of an inch. So we're filling this out. This is on page 266, this chart. We're measuring on 264, we're filling out page 266. Let's take a look at the green beetle. Again, I line it up with the top here and let it run here. It's less than an inch. We know that our denominator is going to be ace. Let's see how many ace this is. 2, 4, oops, excuse me, I'm counting that wrong. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8. Again, another way to figure that out is to do it in 16ths. Just count every single little line. And my lines are kind of hard to see. There's one right there. So maybe that'll help you see them a little better. You could count every single line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that would give you 12/16. And remember, then all you have to do is cut each number in half to get your ace. So the green June bug is 6/8 of an inch. Or June beetle, excuse me, is what they call it. I'd have called it a June bug. That's how I know them. 6/8 of an inch. All right, let's try the yellow bumblebee, which is right here. Again, it's less than an inch. First thing, let's try and find out how many 16ths this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again, it's 12/16. To figure out ace, you could just cut those in half, or you can count every 2/16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 ace. Yellow bumblebee is 6 ace. That's right here. All right, here's a big one, the American cockroach. And I know what you're saying. The American cockroach is much bigger than that. Well, we're not including the antenna or the legs, so we're just doing from the head to the end of the thorax. And if you measure that, you can see that from, trying to get it lined up here, there we go. From the start to right here, that's 1 inch. But then we've got this little piece right here that we have to count still. And we know that it's going to be an ace because we want to go to the nearest 1/8 inch. So if we count every 2/16, that's an 1/8 of an inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 4/8 inches for the American cockroach. Come over here, find the American cockroach, 1 4/8. All right, last one on this page is the Red Legged Grasshopper, which, again, I have to kind of do upside down because I got books holding up the iPad on that other side. And if I line this up, hey, this one's pretty easy if you look. Goes right to here. What would that one be? 1 inch. So we find the red-legged grasshopper. It's the top one right here. That guy is 1 inch. That one we don't have to put any eighths on because it's like being 8/8. All right, so now we move on to page 265. And on page 265, I'm going to do probably 1 or 2 with you here. Probably let's do the ground beetle and the ladybug. And then I want you to try them on your own. You can, and then after you've measured them, check them with me before you write them into the chart on 266. So let's take a look at the ground beetle. You can see that that's going to be a little bit shorter than 1. And again, we know our denominator because it's not exactly 1 is going to be eighths. And we just count every 2 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you look, this ends right here, which would be the 7th eighth. So we're going to find the ground beetle right here. And that's going to be 7/8 of an inch. All right, last one that I'm going to do with you is the ladybug. If you look at the ladybug, it's pretty small. It's not anywhere near close to being 1, so we're going to make this eighths. Every 2 lines counts as an eighth. 1, 2, 3. I get 3/8 of an inch. Come over here to the ladybug. Write in 3/8 of an inch. Okay, what I want you to do is on here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more bugs to measure. The damselfly, the katydid, the Indian meal moth, southeastern field cricket, and the short-tailed dusk darter dragonfly. Try saying that 10 times fast. What I want you to do is I want you to pause the video, try measuring those, and before you write them into the chart, hit play, and I will measure them with you. You can check your answers. Ready? Hit pause. So here we go. We're going to measure the damselfly. And the damselfly is bigger than an inch, if I can get this lined up here eventually. So if you look, you can see that to right there, here to here is 1 inch. Now I got to figure out this little bit right here. And remember, every 2 lines is an eighth. So 1/8, 2/8. So for the damselfly, you should have put 1 2/8 inches. Let's take a look at the katydid. Katydid looks like it should be a lot longer, but we don't count this whole tail part, it's just where their abdomen kind of ends there. So if we're measuring this guy, I line it up like so. From here to here, that's an inch. That's what I'm looking for first. So that means I have to figure out from here to here. I don't know that yet. Remember, every 2 lines is an eighth. So 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. That makes sense. That's a half an inch. 5/8, 6/8. 1 6/8 inches. 1 6/8. And that is the katydid. That's way down here. 1 6/8 inches. when you measured the Indian meal moth, he's a little guy. I'm going to do it like this. Okay, even though I'm starting at 1, I'm just counting how many ace there are. 1, 2, 3. I get 3/8 inch for the Indian meal moth. That's right here, 3/8 of an inch. Got 2 left. We got the southeastern field cricket. He's not quite an inch. Now, here's a fun way to think about this, maybe an easier way. If it went all the way to 1, that would be 8/8, right? Well, if this is 8/8 and we go back, that little bit right there is 1/8. So how big is this? It would have to be 7/8. Here's your proof. 1/8, 2/8 is 3/8, half an inch is 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8. So the Indian field cricket should have been 7/8 of an inch. And the last one is the short-tailed dusk darter dragonfly. Again, this one is bigger than 1 inch. You can see that because from here to here is 1 inch. So we got to figure out what this is. Now if you look, one thing that I know is that a half an inch to right there, that's 4/8. So I could just start there. 4/8, 5/8, 6/8. 1 6/8 inches. And that's the first one up here, 1 6/8 inches. So there's your whole chart. Hopefully that made sense to you. Normally if we were here at school, I would walk around and kind of check all of that for you. What we're going to do here, now that we have this done, I'm going to put this up on the board and we're going to work on making this line plot together. That'll be a different video though. All right, guys, talk to you later.